absolute hypocrisy of the royal family. The double standard that these two are held to is just, it is beyond. Okay, so shout out to my mutual Prince Dre for bringing this to my attention via a great video that he posted earlier today. That this individual, Jamie Lang, posted on their Instagram of them twerking on the steps of Buckingham Palace. Yes, in Buckingham Palace. Now a little walk down memory lane. Meghan Sussex posted this video on June the 4th, celebrating Princess Elizabeth's 4th birthday, where she was pulling the curtain back of the moment right before she gave birth to Princess Elizabeth, dancing around her room, having a gay old time, cute, fun, just living her best life to, I would assume, help induce and go into labor. And she was ripped apart by the media. Mind you, when these two posted this video, were there, in my opinion, seemingly throwing a bit of shade at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's video by twerking, what looks like twerking. Granted, they're not in a hospital room. The royal family doesn't even mask or hide what we all know they are by commenting, "We see you," while Blondie is laughing, King Charles just celebrating her. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are being ripped apart by, in my opinion, racist freaks like this, and by overly injected Rachel Ziegler wannabe. So these two twerk all you want, laugh all you want, throw shade at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex all you want. You will never, ever be this elegante, gorgeous, rich, glowing. Also, Jamie Lang, this is a true prince, royal blood. This man, although he is not king, or I don't think wants to be, this is true royalty, sir. And this isn't. I'm just gonna be totally transparent with you. This ain't it.
Finally, someone said what we've all been waiting for. Not whispered, not hinted at, not coded in royal PR and tabloid fluff. Just said it. Out loud, clear as day, with no apology. It doesn't just make a point. It slices through decades of silence like a hot blade through velvet. That's exactly what Andrew DeVitre did. He asked a question that stopped the spin, shattered the PR, and exposed the hypocrisy sitting on a throne. He said, how come when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle do a baby mama dance in a hospital room, it's suddenly a scandal, a disgrace, the so-called death of the monarchy? But when two non-royals do the same joyful thing, they're celebrated, uplifted, called modern, progressive, even acknowledged by King Charles himself? That wasn't just a question. That was a cultural mic drop, a mirror held up to the world, and in its reflection we saw something ugly, something rigged, something rotten, because it was never about the dance. It was about who was dancing. This isn't about choreography. It's about character assassination. It's about control. It's about who's allowed to feel joy in public, and who gets slapped down for it. It's about how the world reacts when a black woman shows light, life, and laughter in a space that's long protected whiteness, compliance, and silence. To really understand how we got here, you have to rewind. Slide back to 2016. The palace, stiff with tradition and polished performance, prepared to bring in a new face. Meghan Markle, an accomplished, intelligent, empathetic American actress, wasn't just entering the royal fold, she was rewriting what it could mean. She wasn't born into aristocracy. She wasn't bred for the balcony. She wasn't white, and she wasn't quiet. She arrived with her own voice, her own power, and her own platform, built with her own hands. That should have been celebrated. Instead, the moment she walked in, the media sharpened their knives. They turned every blink into a betrayal, every outfit into an offense. Every step she took became fuel for a fire they were determined to light. They didn't want to report on her. They wanted to reshape her into a villain. And why? Because she didn't shrink. She didn't dim. She didn't play the role of the grateful Duchess. She touched her baby bump. They said she was showing off. She wrote messages on bananas for vulnerable women. They called it ridiculous. She served avocado toast. Suddenly she was an eco-terrorist. But when Kate Middleton did those exact same things, she was elegant, compassionate, earthy, and refined. The contrast was blatant and brutal. The message was loud and clear. There were two sets of rules, one for her, one for Meghan. This wasn't about royal protocol. This was about racism. And so, the pressure mounted. The headlines screamed, the stories twisted. And when Meghan and Harry made the decision to step back, to protect their mental health, to build a life that wasn't curated by courtiers and palace spin doctors, they were treated like traitors. Even after leaving, the scrutiny didn't stop. They built a life, bought a home, had 2 beautiful children, launched real work with purpose. They found peace. And still, the attacks kept coming, like clockwork. Meghan and Harry could have been gardening in silence and someone would have said the begonias were too loud. And then came the moment that sent shockwaves. A private, joyful, intimate dance between husband and wife in a hospital room as they prepared to welcome life. A sweet, playful, beautiful act of love. The kind of moment that reminds us that joy is not just allowed, it's necessary. But for Harry and Meghan, that joy was deemed unacceptable. The outrage poured in. Disrespectful, inappropriate, tacky, as if dancing next to a hospital bed is now a constitutional offense, as if joy must now be pre-approved by royal decree. And yet, when a similar video surfaced of 2 strangers dancing in the same spirit, suddenly it was celebrated, praised, described as fresh, heartfelt, adorable, a sign of modern parenthood, even reportedly acknowledged by King Charles himself as charming. So when Andrew DeVitre asked, "Isn't it hypocrisy?" the answer wasn't just yes, it was hell yes. Because this has never been about hospital rooms, never been about dignity or decorum. It's about who gets to be seen as joyful, who gets to be seen as lovable, who gets to be seen as human. Meghan wasn't just dancing, she was committing a kind of royal treason, being unapologetically alive in a system built on performance and silence, a system that wanted her smiling but never speaking, present but never powerful, visible but never vibrant. But Meghan, she danced anyway. And Harry? He didn't shrink from it. He didn't stand awkwardly in the corner. He joined her, and in that moment, he wasn't the Duke of Sussex. He wasn't the son of a king. He was a man in love, standing with his wife, moving through joy and pain together. That's what love looks like. That's what healing looks like. That's what breaking generational trauma looks like. Harry watched what the system did to his mother. Princess Diana, chased to her death by the same press machine now snapping at Meghan's ankles. He saw the warning signs, heard the echo, felt the chill, and he did what any man of conscience would do. He chose his wife. He chose his children. He chose peace over protocol. And because he chose joy over performance, the press calls him weak. The palace treats him like a ghost. But let's be honest, does Harry look lost to you? He looks free, he looks whole, he looks healed. And you know, that terrifies the very institutions that told him he'd be nothing without them. That's the root of the rage. They're not angry that Harry and Meghan left. They're angry they left well. They're angry that they found a way to thrive without a crown, that they speak freely, move joyfully, live purposefully, that they are no longer afraid. Because every time they show up in the world, smiling, parenting, laughing, loving, they expose the lie that says tradition is the same as virtue. They prove that royalty isn't inherited, it's embodied. They prove that the monarchy didn't save them, it tried to bury them. But love dug them out. So yes, their joy is rebellion. Yes, their dance is resistance. Yes, their love is a threat. Because it defies the idea that you have to suffer to serve. Because it refuses to apologize for being loud, black, bright, or free. And Andrew DeVitre? He did what the media wouldn't dare. He named it. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't whisper. He didn't bow. He said what needed to be said. If Meghan and Harry are demonized for dancing and others are praised for the same act, then the problem was never the dance. It was always the dancer. And that kind of double standard, that kind of weaponized criticism, that's not tradition. That's white supremacy in a tiara. And we're not playing polite anymore. We're naming it. We're challenging it. We're pulling off the gloves and the masks. Because the truth is royal too. Let them dance, let them laugh, let them live. Because if you think a dance is dangerous, you've missed the point. It's not the movement that scares them, it's the freedom behind it. Meghan and Harry are free, and their joy is loud. So thank you, Andrew DeVitre, for lighting the match, for showing us that the real threat to the monarchy isn't a podcast, a book deal, or a baby bump. It's not even a hospital dance. It's truth. It's love. It's people who know they don't need a crown to be royal. And if that shakes the palace to its foundation, then maybe it's time for the walls to crack, because we're not bowing, we're dancing. And the future? It doesn't wear pearls and silence, it sings, it sways, it shines, it moves forward with joy.